Yeah, I use the like I said before, I used the guided language acquisition instructional model, but I created my own materials to ensure that the materials would meet the standards of the lesson, but more importantly, satiate my students' interests. I also used hands-on materials for the students so that they could actively be engaged in the process and get a feel of a thermometer. And I didn't have 20 thermometers, so I had to make my own with the straw and so forth. Yeah. I felt that the materials were developmentally appropriate to their interest as a kindergarten. And I also created materials that were at their cognitive level of understanding and definitely at their level of curiosity. I strongly believe in that constructivism approach, the constructivist approach. I feel that it's a significant paradigm for teaching young children. Therefore, my hands-on materials gives the students an ability to construct meaning by active participation, rather than just open up the book and say, oh, this is a thermometer, and not be able to actually feel it and go over the parts of the thermometer. Probably depending on the next group of students. Yeah, it really depends on where my students are. There are some years that the students may very well have a good understanding of what a thermometer is, so I wouldn't really have to do that basic level understanding. So it's just dependent upon the students. A lot of my students come from economically disadvantaged homes, so therefore they have very limited experiences. A lot of them came from a foreign country, for one, so just the word in itself is foreign to them. So I try to bring as much as possible the outside world, things that they were never introduced to, and let them experience it.
I noticed you used the news broadcast.
Uh-huh.
And why did you, or how would you, is that meaningful or relevant?
I tried to make a connection to the outside world. I try to, as much as possible, make a connection on what our standards is and how it is important to their lives. Because when I was growing up, I don't think I was always given that connection. So, for example, algebra, I never was given that connection to my everyday life, so therefore it didn't seem meaningful. And that's why for these young kids, especially because, like I said, they have limited experiences, I'm trying to make that connection for them. Yeah. And then hopefully that they go home tonight and watch the news. But it's funny because one boy knew it was sky hockey.
Yeah.